everyone, and welcome back to another Tate Township Public Library take-home activity kit. Today we're going to be making a papier bouquet. So that's a bouquet of flowers made all from paper. Paper straws, paper petals, cardboard, and we even recycled some cereal box. So let's get started. I'm going to turn the camera around and we can go through the kit together. First, we're going to look at what you got in your kit. You got an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock templates that we've printed out for you. You got 2 pieces of patterned paper, a long one and a big rectangle. You got a long piece of green construction paper, 5 different colors of smaller piece of construction paper, green tissue paper, paper straws, lots of paper in this craft, as well as a little paper cup that we're going to use to hold the flowers. At home, you're going to need a pair of scissors, a ruler, a pencil, some hot glue. Got my extra hot glue and my hot glue gun over here, as well as some white glue up at the top. And you are also going to need a recycled cereal box or other form of thin cardboard. And that's just going to support the back of our bouquet so it can stand up. So the first thing we're going to do is cut out an 8.5 by 11 inch piece of cardboard. And you can either use a ruler to do this, or you can simply trace the sheet of cardstock, which is the template sheet, to create this backboard. So we're going to bring this forward and push all of our craft supplies up out of the way so we can trace and cut. I think it'll be easier to trace it. So we don't want to use where these folds are. So I'll go right to the edge here. I'll have to cut a little bit off. And we're going to trace our template sheet to make the backboard. And there's my rectangle. So now I'm going to cut that out. Now I'm going to speed up all the cutting in this, but please take your time. And if you're having any trouble with any of the cutting, then please ask an adult, parent, or guardian to help you out. So I'm just going to speed this up. Okay, then we are going to glue the large piece of patterned paper onto the cardboard to create the backboard. So that is my large piece of patterned paper. And then I think white glue would work best for this, and then we can leave it to dry. So we'll take our white glue. I'm just going to go around the edge. And some down the middle. And we're going to line up our piece of paper and glue that down. Flatten it out nicely. All right, and I'm gonna put that to the side to dry up top here. And then it says cut out the labeled cardstock template. So we'll do that next. And again, I'm gonna speed it up while I cut these out. Please take your time. And again, if you need help, ask an adult for help. right, so we've got all of our templates ready here. The next step says to use the leaves template to cut and trace two ovals onto the construction paper, the green construction paper. These are going to make our big leaves, and then cut those out. I'm going to set this up here. And we're going to do 2 of them. Now you can do more if you'd like. We'll just start with 2. Now 1 more. And then cut these ones out. All right, set those aside for later. And then it says, use the triangle template to create 2 cardboard triangles, and then set these aside for later. So we need to get our cardboard back out. Oops. And we're gonna cut 2 of these triangles. And now we're gonna cut these ones out. All right. I've got my triangles ready. Set those aside up here. My white glue got a little bit wrinkly, but that'll dry out. All right. Now we need trace the cup template onto the smaller piece of pattern paper and then cut it out and glue it around the outside of the paper cup. Here's our our other patterned paper, and this is our cup template. So we're gonna trace that onto the patterned paper and then cut it out. All right, and now let's cut this out. Now that you've got your patterned paper cut out, we're going to glue it to the cup. And you can see that it has this one funny edge in your template. So what we're going to do is line that edge. That's going to be where it overlaps. So we're going to put that underneath the lip of the cup. And I think hot glue will look better for this so it doesn't run away on you, but you can use white glue if you don't have hot glue. So we're going to go a little on the first edge. Where do we start it? At the top and the bottom, and line that top edge to the top edge of your cup there. Stick that down. Don't touch the hot glue like I just did. And then you're gonna work it around You can put another line of hot glue at the top and the bottom in a little bit. Now mine overhangs the bottom of the cup a little bit because my cup is a little bit smaller. We only had a certain number of the right sized cups, and we wanted to make sure there was enough for everybody. And I need another hot glue stick. Oh, I got a package that wasn't open. There we go. Wrap that tight there. And then all the way to the other side. There we go. And then you have your little paper vase. Now I'm gonna have to trim mine a little bit because it looks a little funny, but that's all right. Put that off to the side. And now it says we need 4 petals for each of our flower. So take one of the smaller pieces of construction paper. I'm gonna start with the red one and fold it in half. And then fold it in half again. So you have 4 layers. And then we're gonna trace the heart-shaped template onto the folded piece and cut through all 4 layers to create all 4 petals. And you're gonna repeat this step with all of your colors. Got my heart there, my petal heart, and then we're gonna trace that. Oops. And then we're gonna cut that out and do it for all 4. So what I'm gonna do is actually trace them all first and then go cutting. So in half, and then half again. And then cut all of those hearts out. Okay, so now we're gonna glue 4 petal pieces together to create each flower. So, I'm gonna set them up in a flower pattern. So we're gonna glue the 4 ends together. Now you can use white glue or hot glue for this. I'm gonna give a try with the white glue. So choose your first flower and put a dot. Overlap it. And overlap that one. And then I think I'll just put a little bit more glue in the center and put the top one there. And you can flip it over so you don't see your pencil marks. So, and the white, before it glues, you can kind of space them out a little better. And then put it off to the side and let it dry. And do the same thing for all 5 flowers. Do one more with you. Okay, now while these flowers are drying, we're going to cut out 5 little squares of tissue paper. And then we're going to place a pencil eraser into the center of each square and wrap it up, and then gently dab tissue paper in a bit of white glue and press it into the middle of each flower. So let's take out our tissue paper. And cut a little strip. And then we want to make squares. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I just need 1 more. I'll cut a corner out of here. 5. And then we're going to take our pencil eraser, stick it in the middle, and then scrunch it up around. And then we're going to put a little dab of white glue on the end of our pencil. You can also use a piece of cardstock and put a little dab of white glue and then dip it if you want. All right. And then I'm going to stick that in the middle of my flower. Let that dry, and that's going to be the center. And then we're going to do that 5 more times, or 4 more times, sorry. So you put your pencil eraser in the middle, and then tuck it around the outside. Tiny dab of white glue. Doesn't need a whole lot. And then that's going to go right in the center of your flower. You can flatten it out a tiny bit if you want, or scrunch it. And remember, no 2 flowers are alike. Just cut almost like snowflakes. They're similar, but so it doesn't have to be perfect. Nature isn't perfect. There we go. Give that a little, let it dry, and then we're going to use hot glue to stick the flowers onto the ends of the paper straws. But these are a little wet, so let these dry completely before you start gluing them to the paper straws. And we'll come back and do that. Okay, now that my paper flowers have all finished drying, all we have left to do is to assemble everything and put it onto the backer board. So the first thing we're going to do is glue a straw onto each of the backs of the flowers at the end. And now you can match your colors or switch it up. I think I'll match my colors. And I'll just use green for the pink because there's no green flower. Yeah, we'll do that. So then it is best to use hot glue for this one. Oops. Losing my hot glue. So put a little hot glue onto your straw and then stick it to the middle of the back of the flower. There's 1. 2. Oops. 3. 4. 5. There's our flowers all finished. And then you're going to take your long leaves and you're going to, the long green ovals, and you're going to fold them in half lengthwise. And that's going to make it look like a big leaf. Just fold the ends all the way down, and that makes it look like a leaf. Do the same thing with the other one. It's easier if you start at one end and go down to the other end. And then open it back up. And then we have to glue our paper cup to the backer in the middle at the bottom. Sorry, I'll get back on camera here. So we're going to put some glue across the back like that so it doesn't fall off. And I'm doing it right over where the seam is. And then just a little bit up from the bottom in the middle. And then the last step is to glue these triangles onto the back. Oh, now you guys saw that it's Fruit Loops. And it is the shorter edge that you want to glue to there. So we're just gonna put some hot glue along the edge. Very carefully. Put it on one side. Let that cool and do the short edge of the other one. Not the shortest edge, but the shorter of the longer two sides. Put some glue on there. And then putting it on the other side of the cup. Oops. And hold it upright until it stays. And there you go. Now it can stand up. And the last thing you have to do is just arrange your bouquet into the cup. And I'm just gonna tilt this a little bit more so you can see. Put in all 5 flowers. One more flower. And the 2 leaves. Okay, so we are all finished with our Papier Bouquet. You can use it to decorate for Easter on the table, and you can always rearrange it and the nice thing is about this is you can put something else in the cup and you can change it for different seasons if you'd like. So I hope you enjoyed this craft, and don't forget to share your photos with us. You can email them to library@tay.ca or tag us on Facebook or Instagram at Tay Township PL. Thanks again, and I hope you join us next month for another Tay Township Public Library Take Home Activity Kit.